Challama mom, increase the volume mom.
Sir, want to decrease or to increase?
Increase mom.
Sir, it is in full volume.
Okay mom. I'll check my network. Am I audible mom?
Yes. Arunan sir, resource person is joined sir.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here, ma'am. Ma'am, is the resource person joined?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now join, sir. Now,
Yes, ma'am. Our
good
vice
evening,
principal
sir.
also, I
Good
think,
evening,
Very
sir.
good
joined.
evening to you.
Good evening sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am. Anandapriya, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Our vice principal is there. Ma'am, shall we start the
Good
program,
evening
ma'am?
ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam,
Good evening,
just give
ma'am.
me the right to share the screen whenever it is possible.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah sir, you can share your screen sir. Kavya?
A warm greetings to everyone present here. I'm Kavya, your MC for the day. I heartily welcome you all to the best capacity building program. Without getting delay, here we go with prayer. Now I would like to call upon Priyanka from 3rd BCom A, student coordinator, to lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this webinar. Help us engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, O Lord, as we make decisions, and continue to remind us that all we do here today, all we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Priyanka, for starting with a soulful prayer. Now I request Mr. Arunan, Head of Innovation and Research Department of Commerce, who is always vibrant and guiding our department to greater heights.
Thank you, Kavya. Uh, Good evening and very warm welcome to everyone present here. On behalf of Patrician College of Arts and Science, PG and Research Department of Commerce, I am happy to welcome the gathering for this 7-day capacity building program. A genuine smile of welcome can take a good day into a better one. I am delighted to welcome our Director and Secretary, Reverend Brother Dr. Naveen Francis, our Academic Director, Dr. Fatima Vasant, Principal Dr. Arukumari Geeta Rufus, Vice Principal Dr. Ananda Priya. Welcome, ma'am. I am honored to welcome today's resource person, Dr. Chandrasekhar Kupperi, founder, Anova Corporate Service, Chennai. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. It is my pleasure to welcome our eminent professors of PG and Research Department of Commerce. Sometimes the hurdles are not really hurdles at all. They are welcome challenges. A special thanks to our students who are in the program today. Once again, warm welcome to everyone for our great capacity building program. Welcome you all.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome. We are honored to have with us a person who has always been a guiding force and a pillar of support for both students and faculty alike. Someone whose leadership and dedication have been instrumental in shaping the future of our institution, our beloved Vice Principal Dr. Anandapriya, to felicitate the gathering.
Thank you, Kavya. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Management Council of Patrician College of Arts and Science, I extend a warm virtual welcome to all the participants joining us today for the Student Development Program and Capacity Building Program organized by the PG and Research Department of Commerce in association with IQAC marks an important initiative in our academic endeavors. Today, we are gathered online to explore the captivating topic of the orbit of commerce. Our session features Mr. Chandrasekhar sir, founder of Anova Corporate Services, Chennai, who brings extensive expertise to enrich our understanding in this field. Thank you, sir, for graciously accepting our invitation to share your insights with us. The objective of
Thank you.
today's session to delve into the intricate dynamics of global commerce orbits. In an increasingly interconnected world, understanding these orbits, how different economies, markets, and sectors interact and influence each other, is crucial for our students' holistic development as future business leaders. The purpose of this program is twofold. First, to equip our students with a deeper understanding of global business dynamics, particularly focusing on how commerce orbits influence trade patterns, economic policies, and business strategies. Second, it aims to foster critical thinking and analytical skills necessary to navigate and excel in today's digital and globalized economy. I encourage all students to actively engage in today's session and take advantage of the valuable insights will be shared by our resource person. Let's leverage this platform to broaden our perspectives on the orbit of commerce and its implications for the future of business. Thank you once again, sir, for your expertise and participation. Let's make this session a meaningful and enriching experience for everyone involved. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I could call upon Abita from 3rd BCom A student coordinator to introduce our resource person.
Good evening and welcome to our event. I'm delighted to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Chandrasekhar Guberi, who has warmly accepted our invitation to join us today. Mr. Chandrasekhar Guberi is an accomplished individual in the field of FMCG, life insurance, audit and assurance, and oil and gas sector. He has almost had 2 decades of experience in it. His last stint was a group finance director with Lordnamet Group, a UK-based multinational in the FMCG space which owns well-known personal care brands such as Yardley and London and Finest, etc. His prior stints include various finance and audit positions with MNCs such as ExxonMobil and KPMG in India. His deep knowledge and expertise in M&A led him to establish an advisory firm, Anova Corporate Services Private Limited. Anova offers M&A advisories and fundraise services. Shaker is also an active angel investor and serves as a non-executive director in mid-sized companies both in India and abroad. Shaker is a chartered accountant, cost accountant, and a company secretary by qualification, a rank holder and medalist in both ICAI and ICWAI. Is also a member of Institute of Management Accountant US, Institute of Public Accountants Australia, and Chartered Institute for Security and Investment UK. He holds an MBA and has completed a senior management certification program from IIM Calcutta. Awards and achievements. First award under SME Services category at 13th National Awards for Excellence in Cost Management 2015, the Secret Weapon Award by Barclays for his outstanding contribution during the divestment of Lornamet Group of Lee Fung 2012, Rashtriya Udyog Ratna Award for National Economic Growth through individual contribution by the National Organization for Commerce and Industry 2012. Thank you.
Thank you, Abita, for the brief introduction of the resource person. Now, I am pleased to welcome our resource person, Mr. Chandrasekhar Kuperi, to address the gathering.
A very, very good evening to all of you. First of all, it's an absolute privilege, to be part of this amazing gathering. I mean, look at Patrician College. How well they're encouraging the students even to understand the potential that is there in this course called commerce. Oh, trust me, in my days, we never had, such interesting stuff. So, my dear students, this is a great privilege, to be in such institution which is doing their best to nurture you all in the field of commerce. Now, let me present my screen so that we can run through this presentation, which itself is a very interesting topic. The topic itself is called Orbit with Commerce. So, whenever I think of, the subject commerce itself, it is very gratifying to me, because nothing runs in this world without the word commerce. This word commerce is all about business, about management, about economy, about currency, about investment, about financing, about organization, about profit, about wealth. I'm losing my breath because that's the beauty of this topic. The amount of information flow, that this topic has is totally unbelievable. I think my screen is not moving. My screen has not moved to the next slide. Is
Yes,
there
sir,
someone?
it's moving.
No, it's not moving. So I've just, come out of the slide, share mode. Can someone help me? How do I do that? Because in Google Meet, I always struggle for some strange reason. So if I normally, come to the full screen, it should also appear as a full screen, but it is not. Is there a way I can do that from Google Meet? Is someone smart enough to tell me?
Sir, you can press F5, sir,
F5,
for the
okay.
full screen.
That.
Just F5, no other keys down. It is not moving.
No, it's not moving. Okay. Because if the slides are not moving, you will not enjoy, the whole presentation.
So go to the slideshow, the tab in the above, sir.
Is that in Google Meet itself?
No. I'm staying in the PPT, sir. One side.
Okay, in the PPT.
Sir, you can share the slideshow, sir. You go to slideshow. There is an option, sir, in the PPT slideshow.
Okay. No, I'm doing it in my. So in my PPT, I'm doing it. I'm able to see, it's coming. But unfortunately, in the Google Meet, it's not coming. Should you give me full access if you don't mind?
It is enough, sir. It is evident.
I have you have the full access to share the screen, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to my PPT. I'm doing the slideshow. I'm going there. I'm going to the slideshow. I'm saying from beginning, but unfortunately,
yes.
It's not coming, right?
Yes, sir. It's not moving.
Sir, sorry, sir. You click from beginning, sir. After clicking the slideshow, go to the option first one, sir, from beginning.
Yeah, that's what I did. I wish I could show you. That's what I did. Okay, so I can see my screen, the full screen, but unfortunately, there again, you can see that it doesn't show the full screen. So that's why I use two laptops just to see, whether my presentation is coming correct or not.
So can you mail this? Can you mail this to my Commerce Patrician College mail ID, sir?
I can do that. But you guys need to tell me why is this issue, happening, right? So let me stop presenting and try once again.
Sir, you are using desktop, right?
I'm using
press F11, sir.
Okay,
it will show the entire screen. F11, sir. F11.
Okay.
F11 button, sir.
Right.
Sir, your PPT is clear, sir. You may go ahead, sir.
No, my PPT is clear, but it has got some good animation, so you guys will lose. That's what I thought. But anyway, if that's the case, can't help it.
Yes.
Okay, so let me move forward with my presentation. So basically, I said commerce is so important, and the reason why commerce is so important. Look at that statement. In this world, nothing works without exchange of products or goods, and we are speaking about two different parties trying to ensure that there is a trade between them. And how does that trade happen? Only because of exchange of goods or services. Which means what we are saying is that the only one thing that unites people across this world, across this geography, is this amazing word called commerce, because it embraces whatever function you have, whether it is marketing, sales, production, manufacturing, technical, whatever you call it. There's one word that unites everything, and that word is commerce. So if you're in the field of commerce, I think it's a great, blessed feeling, because you're in the business of making, selling, transporting. What else is there? This is what is there in the world of commerce. Why am I again saying this on the importance? Look at this. We always speak about the GDP. We always speak about the prosperity, the economic growth, by always looking at the trade, which means commerce is associated with the economic growth of a nation. If there is innovation or development that we speak about, or the way we are connected with each other, whether it is local or global, without commerce, nothing works. Most of us, we buy things. How do we buy things in today's world? Using e-commerce. We just simply go to the e-commerce website and then we buy. Look at the connectivity. Look at the benefits that the consumer are enjoying. And of course, commerce is the only reason why there is social discipline and development, across, nations. Having said that, let me once again come to the example which I said. Look at the e-commerce boom. Look at the startup ecosystem that is flourishing. Look at the digital payments. If you have heard of UPI, UPI is dominating not just in India. Now this UPI is going to go into South America, into Africa. Look at what is happening, because of commerce, technology, or your startup ecosystem, or the retail, or let's say even the services, the manufacturing. We are now getting into the semiconductor. What is all this? The word is commerce. That is what is shaping this nation. And I think we should be very, very proud about, this. That's the reason why the session is all about today, understanding what this commerce does to you. Is it really relevant? The truth is very, very simple. Yes, it's extremely relevant. Why is it relevant? Because we said that commerce is all about trade. Commerce is all about ensuring, that you're able to understand how international trade happens, how domestic trade happens, simply put, how business happens. Which means whether you are in employment or you're an entrepreneur, or trust me, commerce plays a significant role in our lives. And therefore, please be very, very focused in terms of studying this subject, commerce. Now, why are we saying, that commerce is so important? I think one thing that I've realized in my life personally too is that I think it's a very, very well understood and well recognized course. A lot of people tell us, that commerce is something that they easily resonate with whenever somebody says, that I've done this course. Probably it's a BCom or BCom with something else as a specialization. People are able to resonate very well. And therefore, the very first message to you guys is it's an extremely well recognized course. But look at the second important benefit that you have. It has not just the theoretical understanding. There's a lot of practical understanding that you get out of the course. And therefore, my humble request to you students is don't just read it as another course. I think you've got to ensure that you're able to understand better the theory aspect, but also ask for certain industrial training or training in certain corporates, so that you're a lot better in terms of the practical understanding. Is that possible? Of course, it's possible. The only question is you have to show that interest so that the faculty, the college is able to give you that opportunity even for the industrial training. Now, managerial skills. I'm pretty sure most of you, after doing your course in BCom or BCom specialization, would want to do a higher course. I've heard in the market that many prefer MBA. I'm going to make a very bold statement. Trust me, your BCom itself can give you a lot of better managerial skills if you pursue this 2 years with a lot of heart. Because BCom subject also helps you to understand how you can become a better manager and therefore a better leader. Reason being, to do commerce, to do trade, or trust me, if you don't have a great communication skill, if you don't have empathy, if you don't have understanding of certain domain and therefore, applying that emotional quotient, nothing works. And therefore, the managerial skill is something that is very, very true to this course, BCom. Specialization, I'm going to come to that. Students, you'll be surprised the number of specialization that you can get into with this course called BCom. And the final point is very, very true. Oh, trust me, that has got a great, great career scope when it comes to the world of BCom. What is this career scope? We're going to come to that. I spoke about specialization. So let me quickly come to you on specialization. Look at this. What is not there for you to study or specialize in BCom? Huh? In my days, the only thing that we used to understand was accounting and finance. That's the only thing that we understood. But look at this. Today, you can do in banking management or banking and insurance. You want insurance also with banking? Do that. You want e-commerce? Do that. You want taxation? Specialize there. You want information system? Get there. And even marketing. You want to specialize in marketing? There's a scope. You are saying, I want to get into international trade. Do foreign trade management. You are saying that, no, I want to get into the financial markets because I love, the ways the stock market. Get into financial markets. You want to say that I just want to understand how I can be better organized, in an organization. Do office management course. Students, what I'm saying is there are plethora of opportunities, when it comes to the world of commerce. And therefore, whenever we speak of specialization, or trust me, most of them say, wow, what a number of courses, look at BCom. So just to reiterate, help you recap, this is what we are saying. The world of BCom has got the most known course, which is your BCom General, or the much more known course, which is your BCom Honors. But look at what all you can do, as courses in BCom itself. We spoke about information system management, we said e-commerce, we said accounting and finance, which is the bread and butter, but there is another course called corporate secretaryship, which is becoming very, very popular. In fact, some of the interns that we have taken, they've done their BCom with corporate secretaryship, which is also very useful because they understand the Companies Act, they understand the legal side. Marketing, human resource, supply chain management. See, these are all specializations in MBA. But look at what BCom offers, you at a very early stage. And of course, international business. I love this course called financial analytics. I'll tell you what, if you are very, very analytical, you should pursue this course, because if you are able to slice and dice data, that's a significant power for you. And of course, let's not forget the fact that there is also auditing, which is very, very important in today's world, because one needs to ensure that the business is carried out with corporate governance. And one of the way by which that discipline can be imbibed is via, the auditing. There's this fascinating course called tourism and travel management too. So students, just imagine what all avenues you have to specialize, to grow, if you just pursue this commerce. The reason I'm telling you all this is, enjoy the course. This 2 years will fly. But if you're not enjoying the course, trust me, sometimes, it becomes very difficult even to understand, what could be the growth options. And therefore, I'll come to the very important aspect of today's session. What sort of key positions, one can have pursuing these courses? Simply put, you can be an accountant. Who is an accountant? An accountant is somebody, who is very good in tracking all these accounting records, the financial records, can prepare the accounting statements, can prepare the financial reports. That's an accountant. Now, don't undermine this course, because we have always said that a great business needs a much more greater accountant. I'll repeat that. A great business needs a much more greater accountant, because accountants, in fact, tell the business what's happening. They actually, portray to the business how the business can be done better. So that's your accountant. The next one is financial analyst. As I said, it's very fascinating. If you are strong with numbers, you love numbers. Well, this is a great area, because you can be a person who is good with financial data analysis. Sometimes, you can get into investment management, and therefore, you can even offer an investment advice. Look at, the opportunity that is there for analyst. Analyst means how good you can slice and dice the data. I always say that, if you torture data long enough, it can confess to anything. That's the power of analysis. That's why we say big data, because today big data is all about how do you analyze the data and then convert the data into information. Tax. India is always considered a tax economy, because tax contributes to the GDP and growth of the nation. You can be a tax consultant. You can be a tax manager. So look at this. You can help optimize, plan the taxes. You can ensure that the compliance with the tax is much more greater, whether it is individual or business. And therefore, it's a fascinating, field that you can get into. I love the next one, because I always feel that corporate governance is the hallmark of the growth of a business, and therefore auditing. Someone, who is into corporate governance, someone who is into compliance management, is always a great field. This is where, you're able to tell the business how well the business should even be run, how well the business should even be organized, how well the business, should protect itself from the various, warnings that come from the external world, so that it is able to run the business seamlessly despite any pressure that comes from outside. That can happen, when you pursue with passion this beautiful subject called audit. I know that many feel audit as a boring subject, because they think, it's more like checking. Oh, but trust me, today there is technology which can help you even do the checks. So if you can apply your mind, use the technology, this role of audit can be even more fascinating. I come to the last one, because last one has become even more fascinating. A lot of BCom specialized students prefer marketing, because marketing is sometimes fun, because marketing is creativity. Marketing is creating something, devising something, exploring something. And trust me, whether it's a marketing plan or running a promotional campaign, is very, very exciting. Of course, there are certain milestones, there are certain accountability that is there, but again, a very, very fascinating area. What I'm trying to tell you, students, is that You can be an accountant or a financial analyst or a tax consultant or specialize in audit or even become a marketing executive. Having said this, let me dwell a little more into each of these five because to me, it's so fascinating. I come to the accountant role. I told you it is basically tracking the accounting records, the financial records, ensuring that you're able to prepare the reports well. So look at what are the key skills required. If you ask me, one of the most important skill set that is required is you have to be extremely analytical. You have to be extremely numerical, which means you should be good with numbers. Your ability to analyze and then convert a data into information must be the hallmark in terms of the skills. Second, very, very important, you need to understand an accounting software, how it works, but more importantly, even your Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is such a simple tool. I'm sure the college itself, would advise you to do some simple course in Microsoft Excel because that helps you get to speed much more faster. I've even heard colleges asking the students to specialize in Tally software. Tally is a well-known accounting software. So probably you can even do that. So if you want to become an accountant, analytical, numerical, and then understanding the accounting software and Excel is very, very important. But then I've seen accountants, becoming much more effective in the way they're able to suggest how the business should be run. For that, you need a very important skill, that's communication. So what is communication, my dear students? It's not speaking with style. It's not speaking, with some amazing words. Communication simply means if I speak to you, do you understand? Can you reply back to me? That's it. Many don't even understand the importance of communication and therefore they shy away. They don't even want to express. My dear students, if one quality that is going to help you grow is communication. And what is communication? What you say, the other person understands and therefore the other person is able to reply back to you. That's it. We're not speaking about some bombastic language, some hard words like Sashi Tharoorji uses. We're not saying that at all. Look at the next skill set, which is very important for an accountant. How organized you are, because you're dealing with a lot of information. Sometimes there is paperwork. I know we live in a digital age, but still there is some paperwork. And therefore, organization means how disciplined you are in terms of how you handle the data at the same time, doing in a timely manner, which means the time management is of essence here. How do you ensure that things do happen in time? And the final skill set is very, very closer to my heart because I'm a Pakka accountant. Are you good with decision making? What is decision making? It is called, the ability to make a meaningful analysis and express that as a solution. That's it. You make a meaningful analysis and then say, this is a solution. That's decision making. You are taking the responsibility and accountability of saying that why this should work. And therefore, to me, decision making is life. And therefore, this skill set does help the accountant. Having said this, what else can an accountant become? One can become a financial accountant, which is all to do with the generally accepted accounting principles, what we call as GAAP, GAAP. Or you can be a management accounting, very good with the MIS statements, the P&L, the balance sheet, the cash flow. Or you can be very good in terms of how you present the information via analysis. So an accountant can also become a financial analyst. Why? In the skill sets, I said, very important is analytical and numerical skills. And therefore, the opportunities for an accountant are significant across different areas. Therefore, never think accountant role is boring. Or trust me, it's one of the most fascinating role I've seen. I'm an accountant. Trust me, I still do the accounting because I believe that I can explain the information much better. And therefore, I am part and parcel of the decision-making process. Having spoken about the accountant, let's also get into the financial analyst because I said that an accountant can also become a financial analyst. What is slightly different on the skill set? The first one is common, analytical, numerical. We spoke about it. Look at the next skill. Huh? Can you also build a financial model? What is a financial model? A financial model is called a business plan, which means it is telling how do we make the assumptions even to build a business in terms of revenues, in terms of cost, and therefore what's the profitability? If it is a loss, when the business is going to become profitable? What about the balance sheet? Do I need certain capex, certain assets? What about the working capital that is required in the business? What level of funding I need? Should I look for equity funding? Should I look for debt funding? This is fascinating. In fact, Some of the financial analysts I've come across have also done a specific course on financial modeling so that they become better at it. And look at the next skill, how important the next word is: research. The word research simply means, are you able to go a little more deeper, deep dive, and then bring out the best? Only when you deep dive, it means that you're looking at much more details. If you are a detailed person, then only research can become a skill. Otherwise, it cannot become a skill. I know a lot of students, who just, look at the macro, they never go micro. But if you want to become an analyst, trust me, research means going a bit more deeper so that you're able to look at the details in a much more better way. And therefore, the next skill is very, very relevant. Do you have, attention to details? Whenever we speak about attention to details, I'm totally reminded of this fact that when we are attentive, what it means is we are actually noting down what is so important about that particular analysis that you're doing, what is the next important and what is not so important. Which means as you're attending to the details, you should also be careful about noting down things that don't matter. There's a beautiful phrase called less is more. If you focus on whatever is the most important and relevant, trust me, that is good enough for you to accomplish whatever you want in life. You don't have to go into the bottom. I said go deeper to analyze the details. I never said go to the bottom. I never said that. So attention to detail is all about the ability to look at what is important and relevant and how do you cull that out and not just go into all the ones, because all the ones may not be actually important. And of course, just as a financial accountant needs communication skill, if you're an analyst, or trust me, if you want to explain what's happening, your ability to communicate is going to be the most important weapon. If you don't have that ability to communicate well, whatever analysis you do is good enough, but the others, may not understand or appreciate in the way that you want to understand. So please imbibe this communication skill as a very important investment banker, which means we are more into mergers and acquisition, we are into fundraise, we do business valuation, we are into the process of financial modeling, which is what we explained before. We also help in the due diligence. This is what an investment banker does. What is corporate finance? Largely more focused on M&A. How do buying and selling of businesses happen? Asset management, which means there are various assets like mutual funds, stock, property, real estate, gold. How do you manage those assets? What we call as wealth management. How do you manage the wealth? Because the wealth can be investment in mutual funds or stock market or gold or real estate. There are plenty of opportunities of even investing, across wealth management. Then comes the financial planning. I'm sure you will also get into financial planning because as you start earning after, your BCom or your specialization, or let's say even the post-graduation, what will you do with the money? You have to plan the money. How do you plan the money? Where do you invest? That's financial planning. Or a financial analyst can also become a consultant. Look at, the beauty of what it provides as opportunities as a financial analyst. Let me move to the tax consultant role. I said India is all about understanding taxes. If you realize this country, GST is contributing to the exchequer of this nation. So taxes are there to stay. Nobody can say that taxes will go away in this country. No, taxes contribute as an important source of revenue for even managing this nation. And therefore, if you specialize in tax, what it means is that you're getting better at how do you plan the taxes. You're getting better in terms of, how we can get into the compliance management. Whether you're individual or business, this is very, very handy. Skill set, very, very different as a first point. Do you first of all have the knowledge of the taxes? There is direct tax, which is your income tax. There is your indirect tax, which is your GST. As you know, GST is one of the most important taxes in this country. Earlier, we used to have something called sales tax, which became a VAT, and now it has become a GST. So if you want to become a tax consultant, knowledge of direct and indirect taxes is a must. That's a domain knowledge. Look at the other skills. We spoke about analytical, we spoke about communication, we spoke about attention to detail, which means you're going deep, but not to the bottom. Whatever is important, you're culling that out. But look at the last skill. I think if you specialize in tax, you're called an expert. And there are very few experts in the world of tax. Many claim they know tax laws, but trust me, there are only few experts. There are only few people who can practice and tell you how you should go about the tax laws. And therefore, If you have a greater interest in tax, my request to you would be, please, become proficient technically because you're called an expert. For example, whenever I have seen about professions like engineer, oh, expert, doctor, oh, expert. Sometimes they even say that if you're a lawyer, oh, you're an expert. Sometimes probably even a chartered accountant, expert. BCom, tax consultant, deep proficiency in this tax, you will be called an expert. That's the beauty of this tax specialization. And what are the opportunities? You can be part of tax advisory firms. There are all these big four or the next, big six or the other, auditing firms or advisory firms. You can become a tax advisor there. You can join accounting firms, where taxation is so relevant for the business. You can join corporates and the tax department of the corporate. Or look at the government. Even the government, you have employment opportunities within the government because tax is such an important aspect for the government. And therefore, again, plenty of opportunities, plethora of opportunities. I come to this role called audit. I said some consider this boring, but for me, I never consider this boring. I always say that auditing is because you're managing the compliance, you're managing, how the
Yes.
corporate governance of the country should be. It's very, very important for you to understand this. Manoj, can you go on mute? Manoj, can you go on mute? Thank you. So look at the key skills. Manoj Kumar, whoever is this Manoj Kumar, can you go on mute? Or can the admin remove this Manoj Kumar? Should I continue or not? Patrician College admin, can you remove Manoj Kumar, please? Thank you. So now I come to the key skills, which is required for auditing professionals. The first, very, very closer, to the whole function. Do you have attention to details? Otherwise, how can you be good, in compliance management? How can you be good in corporate governance? But audit also means how analytical you are, which means you're looking at two set of numbers, trying to see is there a growth or degrowth? What are the reasons? What contributed both to the positive and negative? That analytical skill is very, very important. The third is of paramount importance because the CA Institute also has standards in terms of how the auditing should be done. There are accounting standards which are instituted by the Chartered Accountant Institute. But then I'm pretty sure you'd have heard of IFRS, you'd have heard of US GAAP, UK GAAP, German GAAP. What I'm trying to tell you is that the generally accepted accounting principles, or even the International Financial Reporting System, the IFRS, all that speak about standards. If you can embrace the standards, oh, trust me, you become a good auditor, which means you are now specialized in the word called audit. And therefore, you also become technically proficient. So I'm going to remind you once again, just as I said about tax consultancy, if you're good with audit, you're called an expert. Get that guy, the guy knows how to do corporate governance, the guy knows how to do compliance management. That's how the world speaks at you, which means audit is again an expert field. But again, because you have to express what you have discovered, most important, are you expressive? Can you communicate well? That's very, very important skill even for the auditor. So now I move to my next important aspect in terms of what are the opportunities which are available for somebody who specializes in audit. You can be part of these accounting firms which are into audit, what we call as public accounting firms. The government needs auditor. You have got this function called CAG, Comptroller and Audit General. You can be part of that. Many corporates have got internal audit teams. So you can be part of the internal audit, or even in the world of corporate finance. I said corporate finance is all to do with mergers and acquisitions. There is a word called due diligence. The word due diligence itself means audit. And therefore, you can be part of the corporate finance department, part of that M&A, part of a team called the due diligence team. As I said, you can become an expert in the world of audit. Such a fascinating. So only one request, students, don't consider this boring. It's such a fascinating field. I come to the last one, which is the marketing executive role. I said it's very fascinating because it's all about creativity, because you can come up with plans which help you to grow the business. You can come up with campaigns which can make your brand visibility better or the organization visibility better. And look at the skills. The first is communication. If you can't communicate well, I think it's a risky proposition to be part of a marketing team. But look at the next one, creativity. If you're not creative enough, nothing works in the field of marketing. So be very, very creative. Then this profession or this field is so attractive. This course becomes so attractive. Because we are speaking about marketing, the world today is all about digital medium. We all speak about social media. I mean, without the smartphone, without the Instagrams, without the world of WhatsApp, without the world of Facebook, Twitter, nothing works. Today, digital marketing done by the Meta, which is a Facebook, or let's say Google, is of paramount importance. Most companies, most startups use the digital medium to market themselves better. I'm pretty sure even your Patrician college, would be doing this. But look at the next skill set in marketing. It's called project management. Why? Because every marketing aspect is a project. There is a budget. The budget is broken down into different sub-budgets. Each sub-budget is an activity, which means it's a project. How do you manage well the project is again of importance. And therefore, I'm going to borrow something that I said at the beginning. You need to be well organized. You need to be also respecting the time, which means time management and organization skills also come into project management. The last skill, analytical. Why? Because you are now trying to come up with a campaign. You're trying to ensure that you're coming with a plan, a research. Oh, trust me, without analyzing the data, how do you convert the data into information? And therefore, analytical skill is also very, very important. What about the opportunities for marketing professionals? Or you can be part of advertising companies, advertising agencies. A very fancy role, but quite exciting. Marketing firms. There are firms which do above the line marketing, which is all the big TV commercials, radio commercials, or it can be below the line advertising, which is your promotions. For example, the in-store promotions, the promotions that is conducted within a supermarket, that can be part of the function. You can be part of corporates, where there is marketing department specifically, assigned to ensure that the business is doing well on the marketing and the sales function. Digital marketing, we spoke about this. There are so many digital marketing agencies. You can be part of that. But don't forget the last one, which is market research. Today, no business can start with marketing unless they do the research part first. The research part tells them how well they can even go ahead with the marketing campaign, and therefore even that could be a fascinating function. So having said all these amazing roles, what are the opportunities to work? Look at all those brand names. How fascinating it would be to work for some of these brand names. And there are many. I've just noted few and put there. Trust me, the course in commerce gives you the ability to become an accountant or somebody who is a tax consultant or somebody who can be very good, with audit, or let's say, somebody who can even be a marketeer or simply put a financial analyst. But look at, the opportunities that are there across different sort of corporate world or established companies. It's plenty. That's why I come to my next slide. Why commerce is the best. First of all, commerce gives you the foundation, the base. When does it give the base? Oh, there's 2 years. This 2 years can change the script and direction of life if only you take this 2 years very, very sincerely, because it gives you the foundation. Career opportunities, we have already said, it is wide, it is plenty. Job market demand, of course. Specialization in commerce always has a demand. What about further specialization? As I said, after BCom, you can even look at further specialization. I'll also come to that as a slide. Skills. Trust me, if you're good with analysis, if you're good with your communication, if you're good with your decision making, if you're good with your research, trust me, employers love all the skill sets. And that's what this commerce course gives you. The job market itself, looks at the versatility of the person who has done the commerce course, and therefore that itself, leads you to be much more marketable. Salary, earnings, of course it's high. No doubt in that. And as you move up the ladder, it is much more higher. What about going outside of India? Of course possible. I've seen a lot of financial analysts doing this course and I've seen some of them, getting into some of the best corporates outside of India also. Some of them who have done marketing also, have done this. If you are into research, again, that's a very, very fascinating area for you to even look at global career. But I think the next one I'm going to share is even more brilliant. You can even become an entrepreneur. Yes, we speak about the corporate world, we speak about the job, we speak about employment, we speak about skill sets. But look at the number of students who are becoming entrepreneurs, just by pursuing commerce because they understand trade, they understand business, they understand international trade, they understand movement of goods, they understand cross-border. And today, if you look at India, we are the third largest in the number of startups. So why wouldn't you even think of being an entrepreneur? How exciting it is. And finally, because you are very good in your communication skills, your analytical skills, or trust me, you are a better networker, which means you're able to network well with other people. Networking is such an important skill set because that's your net worth. If you're able to talk to other people, it only means that you're able to gather well in terms of information from them as well as pass on information. And that's how respect grows. We grow in the eyes of others, we grow in our own eyes when we are able to express what we know. When we keep it with ourselves, we know it, but because others don't know that we know it, sometimes we fall in their eyes. And therefore, networking becomes an important skill set when you're pursuing commerce because communication, your analytical, your ability, even to express becomes even more important. But what about the computer skills? We all live in a tech age. Without the smartphone, nothing works. Everything is tech. Look at all the skill set. Microsoft Excel. As I said, some of the colleges encourage the students even to specialize in MS Excel. Could be MS Word, could be MS PowerPoint. All these are very, very relevant skills. Look at some accounting softwares like Tally on Zoho. Please, ensure that you're able to understand what this software is. Look at some research databases. There's a very beautiful database out of India called Traction. Traction is such a beautiful database where you can cull out the relevant data, convert that into information. Sometimes it even gives you a report, which itself is very informative. Look at Microsoft Outlook because that's your email system. How well can you communicate via emails effectively? So these are very, very relevant skills. And then we are speaking about even business intelligence tools. Power BI is one of the example. The business intelligence tools makes you much more analytical. So I think if you want to specialize in being someone who's very, very analytical, I would definitely urge you to specialize and understand how a BI tool works. After commerce, what? You have done your BCom, you have done your specialization BCom. After that, what? Of course, you can pursue the higher post-graduation like your MBA, or you can even do your master's in foreign trade management, or you can do simply an MCom because again, you can specialize further in e-commerce. You can specialize further in banking. You can specialize further in insurance. You can specialize further in digital marketing. Just look at this, my dear students. What opportunities are there for you? Or you want to get into government? Of course, there is UPSC, which is your IAS. Or you can do the bank PO to become a probation officer. That's your bank PO, which means you can be part of the banking fraternity. I have seen a lot of women get into bank because the role itself, is fascinating. And of course, the salary is also quite exciting. Or just like UPSC, I said, you can even get into the staff selection commission sort of levels so that you specialize in some of this government opportunities. If you ask me which are the highest paying jobs in the world of commerce, investment banker, definitely pays you well. Of course, it's a little higher, end of the world of commerce, but trust me, if you get in there, it's quite fascinating. As I said, a CA or cost accountant, a company secretary, a lawyer, definitely, when you also do the higher studies in those courses, you become much more valuable and therefore the salary levels are high. Remember tax. A tax auditor, look at this brilliant combination. You're good with tax, at the same time, you're also good with audit. Oh, that's an unbelievable combination. If you specialize in both and become a tax auditor, trust me, people will look up to you because these positions are very, very rare. Many do not specialize here because of the fear of the tax laws, because of the fact they feel that audit is boring. If you have greater respect for tax and a likability for tax, and you believe that audit is all about corporate governance, it's fascinating. To summarize, what areas of work you have, you can be into corporate sector, which is your private sector, or you can get into the public sector, which is your government. Or some of you can, get into education, can become teachers. You can get into research, get into your doctorate, in the particular field that you're even getting into. Or some of you can even join some of these NGOs or non-profit organizations, or become a person like me. I'm a consultant. ANOVA is more of a consulting business within investment banking. Even that option is available to you. But I come to the one which is even more fascinating, my dear students. You can become an entrepreneur. What is entrepreneurship? You are disturbing us. So you can even become entrepreneur, which means you can get into the world of startups. You can get into the world of generating employment for others, contributing to GDP. And I've seen a lot of women entrepreneurs too. Today, a lot of women entrepreneurs are getting in the world of startup, or helping in terms of their amazing ideas, and therefore it's so fascinating. I want to now quickly share some of the keywords which I think would be very, very relevant to you. So please give me attention for the next maximum 10 minutes. I'll finish sooner so I can get into the Q&A. My first keyword, my dear students, is this word called creativity. I always say that creativity is the ability to visualize the future. You can see the future if you're very, very creative. We use in the world of marketing, we said that marketing person, somebody who specializes in marketing, needs to be creative. But if you ask me, I think all of us need to have this creative ability. There's this beautiful statement which says that creativity is even greater than knowledge. I know you'll all be surprised because you'll be asking me, what are you saying, sir? I thought knowledge was more important. Now you're saying that creativity is more important than knowledge. What is this, sir? Oh, trust me, my dear students, I am not saying this. It is Einstein who beautifully said, imagination is more important than knowledge. In fact, if you ask me, the true sign of intelligence is not even knowledge, but imagination, the word called creativity. People who are creative are very, very innovative, because creative people actually help us see the reality. They actually make us believe what can happen in the future. That's the beauty of being creative. And look at this statement. The truth of the fact is that all of us, we always imagine. This is the truth. In fact, we become what we think about. Whatever we are thinking, that's what we become. What I'm trying to tell you is that everything in this world is created twice.
Sir, voice break.
One is in reality, and the other, is actually first in our dreams. We always want things to happen in reality, but trust me, first it begins in our dreams. It all happens in our mind and then in reality, and therefore, creativity is such an important asset that you need to have.
Hello, sir.
I'm sure many of you would have seen this movie Harry Potter.
Sir, voice break
Harry
sir.
Potter.
Hey.
Karthik, is my voice breaking?
No, sir. No, sir. No,
Okay,
sir.
okay. So, if you have seen the word Harry Potter, it's by this amazing, writer called J.K. Rowling, a woman who has become very, very famous after the Harry Potter. But trust me, this is what she says. Let's read that statement. You do not need magic to change the world. We all carry the power within us already to become somebody in life, because we all have the power to imagine better. That last line is so important. What it simply says is that we are all powerful. Why? We are all powerful because we have the power to imagine better. If you can only imagine better, or trust me, your life is much more better, because that's the power of creativity. I always say that creativity gives birth to ideas, and creativity gives the power to execute. So please remember this word creativity. Remember the first letter of this word creativity, which is C. I move to my next word, which I think is very, very important in today's world, and the word is courage. Can you be bold? Can you take the future with a lot of boldness and courage? This word courage, comes from the French word, which means of the heart. Do you have the heart, to even face the world? That is the meaning of this word, courage. Unfortunately, many of us are not living our dreams. You know why? Because we are living our fears. Many of us are so much, afraid of even taking the next step, that we live in the world of fear rather than accomplishing our dreams. Therefore, my dear students, be very, very courageous, because courage is not waiting for the fear to go away. Courage is not the absence of fear, but courage simply means Your judgment in terms of what you want is more important than the fear. You want something that is more important than the fear, and therefore you go and get it. I always say, therefore, that courage increases or decreases in proportion to how we deal. It's so surprising, Patrician College, that you're not able to mute others. I'm so sorry to say this, but it's surprising. This is Steve Jobs who so beautifully said that, it is the courage which helps you follow your intuition as well as your heart. If you want to become someone in life, or trust me, it is the word courage. So remember the second keyword I said, courage. And if you can remember the first letter of this, it is great, which is again C. So the first letter of my first word, creativity, is C. This first, letter of my second word is again C, which is courage. I move to my third word, which is all about effort. Oh, trust me, my dear students, all our dreams can come true only if we have the courage to pursue it. But more importantly, it all begins with an effort. The secret of moving ahead in our life is getting started. All of us have this starting trouble. And therefore, please remember, that if you only are able to put the effort, or trust me, your life will be even more beautiful. In fact, good things come to those who wait, but great things come to those who go out and get it. To go out and get it, it calls for this beautiful word called courage. Therefore, you can dream big, but remember, all of us start small, but most importantly, start. Don't fail to start. The only request I'm making is dream big, start somewhere. It can even be the baby steps, but ensure that now you're able to start, because this is a very beautiful statement of Jeff Bezos. He said that I will not regret if I fail in my life. That's what he said. I will not regret if I fail in my life. But the next statement that he said was even more beautiful. He said that I will always regret if I fail to try. I'll repeat that, my dear students. He beautifully says, I'm just rephrasing this for your benefit. He said that if I fail, I will not regret even that. But I'll regret if I fail to try. It's a very profound statement, because many of us don't even try. We just give up, not even without giving that first attempt. My dear students, the most certain way to succeed in life is always to try just one more time. If you simply try just one more time, or trust me, success will come and kiss your feet. And therefore, my third keyword is this beautiful word called effort. Remember the first letter, which is the letter E. I move to my next word, which is very, very closer to my heart. The word is enthusiasm. Look at this image. Looking at this image itself, makes you feel that you want to be as enthusiastic as those, young kids out there. Look at this. The smile on their faces is so contagious, which means enthusiasm itself is contagious. I always say that possibilities follow enthusiasm. Whatever you want in life, or trust me, it'll happen, because energy, enthusiasm begets enthusiasm, which means everything happens in life if you're enthusiastic. In fact, enthusiasm ignites greatness. You want to become somebody great in life? Or trust me, it's enthusiasm, because you'll be surprised how powerful you can be if you can infect others with enthusiasm. You are attending this session, my humble request, can you attend with enthusiasm, because that's the greatest asset in the world. How enthusiastic you are means everything. Nothing great in this world was ever achieved without enthusiasm. In fact, enthusiasm beats money, power, influence. And therefore, my dear students, the key word that I just said is enthusiasm. And remember the first letter, which is E. So we spoke about creativity, we spoke about courage, we spoke about effort, and now we're speaking about enthusiasm. I move to my fifth keyword, which is risk-taking. If you have watched Vadivelu will always say that risk sapra mari. Now, it may sound a comedy, but trust me, it's not a comedy. It's one of the most important lessons of life. Do I have that ability to take risk? Because this is what Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook said, or Meta, what it is called now. The biggest risk is not taking any risk at all. So the beauty of life is, the person who doesn't take any risk does not get anything in life, which means the biggest risk is not taking any risk. What I'm trying to tell you, students, is this: you got to take calculated risk. You got to believe that higher the risk, higher the reward. Because look at the statement. If you take the risk and if you win, you will definitely be happy. Let's say you take the risk and you lose. At least you're learning something, right? You're becoming wiser. And therefore, my only request to you is get into this habit of taking risks, because the person who doesn't risk anything gets nothing, has nothing, is nothing, becomes nothing. Taking risk is the best risk that you can ever have in your life. And therefore, remember the first letter of this beautiful word, risk taking, which is R. I move to my sixth word, which is all about multitasking. You know what is multitasking? Simply put, this image. Are you able to do multiple things effectively, not shabbily? You have to do that effectively, which means you are trying to tell yourself that I am able to take multiple responsibilities. I'm going to keep track of whatever other tasks are, which means focus on the one, but do not forget the rest. Because multitasking helps you finish your job faster. It helps you improve your productivity. Look at that. Your productivity improves, your time management skill set improves, your mental agility. In fact, sometimes I don't mind if you get distracted by looking at a social media, but don't get distracted for long. But come back, to your studies. Come back to what is important for life. That little distraction can get into you into the attraction of the studies. Nothing wrong. Even that is a multitasking. Trust me, it gives you a greater life satisfaction. In fact, if you ask me, you want to become a great leader, the only way you become a great leader is with multitasking, because you become a limitless possibility. The opportunities are significant, and therefore remember the first letter of this beautiful word, multitasking, which is N. I moved to my seventh word because I used this word organized when I was discussing the key skill sets. What is organizing? You will have time pressure. You will have task pressure. You will definitely have pressure. The only question is how dependable you are, how structured you are. Because the more dependable you are, the more structured you are. Trust me, that is what the organization wants. That is what the corporate wants. That is what is required even in entrepreneurship, which means you're becoming more disciplined. Simply put, the word organized simply means you're becoming more disciplined. You're much more controlling what you are doing, and therefore this word organization is very, very important. Remember the word organized and the first letter, which is O. I come to my last one, which is all about morality. What is morality? Ethics. What is morality? How honest we are. What is morality? Simply put, do we know the difference between right and wrong? Do we know the difference between good and bad behavior? Of course, we need to have the right behavior. We need to have the right aspects in life. Why are you even saying this? Oh, trust me, there is always this inner voice which is warning us that we need to be good in our life. We can cheat the world, but we can't cheat our own self. Because someone is watching, and trust me that someone is your inner conscience, the inner voice that always keeps telling you, be a good person, be a better person. And that's why Mahatma Gandhi beautifully said, be the change you want to see in the world. And therefore, I end with the last word, which is morality. So this is what I discussed with you, my dear students. To conclude, I said creativity, I spoke about courage, I spoke about efforts, I said you need to have enthusiasm, you need to have the risk-taking ability, you got to get into multitasking, you have to be organized, you also need to have morality, which is ethical values. If you take the first letter of each of the word, because that's what I wanted you to note, and this is what you would have picked, if you just combine all these letters, rearrange the letters, you get the word called commerce. You want to orbit with commerce? Or trust me, my dear students, be creative, be organized, embrace multitasking, ensure that there are moral values that you embrace. More importantly, put efforts. Never shy away from efforts. Have this risk-taking ability, because ability to take risk means you're becoming someone better. And therefore have the courage also to do that, but do enthusiastically. Never miss out enthusiasm in your life. On that note, thank you, Patrician College, for this wonderful opportunity. I'm open to your questions. That's my email ID. In case you want to write anything to me, feel free, to write to me. With your permission, I'll close the slide so that I can address your questions.
Thank you very much, sir, for your thought-provoking session. rocking session, sir. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
students, if you have any questions, you can directly unmute and you can ask us, or you can even type it in the chat box. Any questions,
Thank you so
students?
much for your kind, gesture. I can see in this Google Meet, your appreciation. I'm grateful to you. Thank you. Feel free to ask your question, students, because it is your session, not our session. Someone has to start. So I request one of you to start so that others, can get the feel of asking the question. Remember, this 2 years can change your life. The only question is how sincere we are.
Student, kindly ask question. What are the doubts you have?
Sir, on behalf of our students, I'll start the question answer
Please,
session, sir.
please.
Excellent session, no doubt. And my question for the present 2024, what are the challenges our commerce students will face when they come to job market? I think you are the best person to explain because the previous session you did step up with commerce. So you
Thank
know
you.
very well how this commerce students will end up, even the placement point of view also. So what is that gap they'll have to bridge, or it is over or under? So what is that? Because our syllabi is fixed with the
Correct.
University of Madras. So to tackle the present scenario, what are the challenges our students should face, sir?
So, the challenges that are there, in the world today, especially for corporates or entrepreneurs, who are trying to recruit people also is, I think my request to students is don't immediately, think about the salary and the perks and the benefits. First, find out, what role you're getting into and what is the opportunity for you to grow in that role. Because if you don't think of it, organizations will still pick you, but you are going to feel, suffocated there. So the first important thing that I want to really tell you that the challenge that you need to overcome is how passionate you are about even that role or opportunity and not just think of, just being placed there. And therefore, in an interview, as you're addressing all the questions, probably you should have a last question to even ask them, sir, what is the possibility of learning here, sir? What is the possibility of growing here? And how, I can even add value, to this business? Nothing wrong in asking this question because these are very rare questions that we have even heard, in an interview from people whom we interview, which means it is about your attitude and your outlook to life also. So ensure that no, you are able to overcome this ability to even ask this question in terms of what possibilities are there for growth, and don't simply look at the salary or the perks or the benefit. That's number one. The second is in today's world, because there is this expectation that things will happen faster, because there is quick commerce, you've got your smartphone, which gives you everything. The outside world, the job market is not like that. You have to work harder, you have to work smarter, even to accomplish certain levels so that you can be picked up, for promotion or for growth. Which means don't look for instant gratification. Please put your best effort. Ensure that no, you're able to put your smart work and then seek the growth. Trust me, if you're smarter, if you're working hard, people notice, people watch, and you become the best candidate known to even to promote or even give you the next higher role. Which means the challenge in terms of expecting the organization to move you faster, try to avoid that, but show in your effort. In fact, I always say that work hard in silence, let success make the noise. The way you work hard in silence, somebody should look at you and say that I just want to choose this candidate because this person is best suited even to be given that higher role, and that to me is success. If you ask me what is the third important challenge that you face in today's world, please understand things are moving faster. And therefore, don't think that your commerce qualification or let's say the specialization or let's say even the higher course that you've done is sufficient. The challenge that you need to overcome is can you be a constant learner? Which means Can you learn, unlearn, relearn? What I'm trying to simply tell you is please read business newspapers, your economic times, your financial times. Please read the business line. What I'm trying to tell you is that understand what's happening in the economy, in the country, in the industry, in the business. Because the more up to date you are, well, trust me, you're much more confident from inside. I use the word in the beginning saying that networking is very important. You network better when you also have what's happening in this world or in India, or what's just happening generally around you. So if you ask me, number one, the attitude in terms of how much can I grow is very relevant. The second important aspect is don't go for instant gratification, but please understand, what is it that you can offer. But more importantly, can you be into continuous learning? Because if you can overcome these challenges, because this is what will be thrown on you, how well you're able to address it will completely change your life for better.
Thank you so much, for.
Thank you.
Any other questions, students, from your side?
Don't be shy, students. It's an opportunity, even to ask. I know I was like you when I began. That's why I said communication, the ability, even to ensure that you are able to network, all that is important. Get the courage. That's why I use the word courage. And it calls for an effort even to ask the question. Put that effort.
Any other questions, students? Definitely, it's appreciation, sir. It's a
Thank you,
very
ma'am.
crystal clear presentation. You can see immediately a lot of thumbs up. So that is the sign, sir. That's why our students also not asking, because it's a
No
very
worries.
clear presentation. Very clear presentation.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much, and we expect your presentation even offline also when you are free, sir, so
Definitely,
that
ma'am.
we can interact with them
I think
on
one of
in
the
a live manner.
students raised the hand.
Ma'am, it's Unica, ma'am, sir.
Unica, ma'am.
Unica ma'am is here. Yes, Unica ma'am. Unica ma'am,
I think she has some problem with her audio, ma'am.
Mike.
Okay.
There's a problem with the mic, ma'am. No worry.
Sir, ma'am, kindly unmute, ma'am. Ma'am, unmute and talk, ma'am. Your mic is off.
Thank you to
Unica ma'am.
everybody for the messages. Thank you.
Ma'am, or message in the chat box, ma'am.
I think it is a network issue, ma'am. When we have network issue, we are not able to unmute.
Thank you, everybody, for your kind message. Grateful to you. Thank you.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead, sir.
How can a student develop the problem solving skill, sir? Is there any proper way to develop the skill?
It's a very, very interesting question. I always say that the only way, you can lose fear is by facing fear. Similarly, the only way to become a problem solver is, first raise your hand whenever somebody is saying, how can you solve this? Just raise your hand. And then try your best to address how it can be solved. Don't worry about whether it is right or wrong. There was a business magnate, was so popular. And there was this reporter who wanted to interview that business magnate, but never got an opportunity. One day he saw this business magnate sitting in a restaurant having coffee. So he immediately rushed to him and said that, sir, I want an interview. Just 3 questions, sir. The business magnate felt, quite pitiful on him. And he said, okay, ask me the 3 questions. So the first question that this reporter asked the businessman, sir, what is the secret of your success? Why are you so successful, sir? You know what the businessman said? Right decisions. How profound it is, right? Because only when we make right decision, we are also able to grow in life. 3 questions, right? Only 1 question he asked. So he has 2 more questions. So the reporter asked now the business magnate the second question. Sir, how do you make right decisions, sir? The business magnate said, experience. Only with experience, you can become right. You can become right. You can become right. Experience is the mother of all virtues. The reporter became so happy. Now he has 1 more question, the third question. So very cleverly, this reporter asked the business magnate, how do you get experience? The business magnate smiled and said, wrong decisions. So if I have to make a statement to you, the statement is this: wrong decisions doubles your experience, right decision doubles your confidence. You want to get into problem solving, become a problem solver. The first thing is gain the experience. Don't worry if it is wrong, because your wrong decisions will double your experience, will make you better next time. The next time you will not make that error. The moment you don't make the error, you make right decision, you become confident from inside, you become a problem solver. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's rightly said, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Unica ma'am.
Yes, hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, madam. Good evening. Good evening.
Sorry, my sincere apology for this technical
No
issue.
worries, ma'am. No worries. No worries.
Yeah, sir. My thanks and my appreciation for your willingness and consent to give this, seminar.
Thank
Though
you.
it is too late, after listening to you, I really felt that I have made a right choice of choosing the commerce as career in my life.
I love it, ma'am. Love it.
Thank you for the confidence that you have given. I'm sure that I'll pass on this vibe to my students also.
Very nice, ma'am.
And
Very nice. Thank you.
the other thing, sir, you didn't content yourself or restrict yourself with just giving your idea of scope alone, but you have gone beyond the limit of telling the importance of morality and the ethics,
Thank you.
which is more or, much more important than the scope of commerce. Thank you.
Beautifully said,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Beautifully said. Ma'am,
Thank you
you
so
just
much.
remind me a statement. There's a very beautiful statement. The softest pillow in the world is the clear conscience that we have. So I'm so glad, when you spoke about morality, because that should be the hallmark of, any person, and therefore, I really appreciate, when you use that word morality and highlighted that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Student, any other question from your side? Kindly ask our resource person. Any other question? Okay, I think no more question. Vaidegi ma'am,
Yes, sir.
can you proceed further, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Before
Yes.
coming to a conclusion, sir, you also mentioned about risk taking. And you
Exactly.
also mentioned how Vadivelu was saying risk and risk.
Exactly.
Yes, sir, I really wanted to ask you, like we have, entrepreneurs cell is also here. People
Very nice.
doesn't want to come, doesn't want to develop their skills, doesn't want to become entrepreneurs. Even they don't want to take up insurance job or any marketing job because they say we want a fixed income. But people doesn't know if they are coming to marketing job, they'll get more incentive than the salary. So this risk taking, I believe in some of the students, they don't want to take risk. They want a standard income, sitting in a cabin and taking a income without taking any risk. They don't want to explore more. They want a comfort zone. They don't want to come out of it. So all these problems we are facing. So kindly, your expertise, advice is much more needed here, sir. Please.
I'll quickly share one important thought, madam. Warren Buffett. I think this name is, something that many of us know. And who is Warren Buffett? Besides being an amazing human being, he's one of the richest in the world. Warren Buffett, he used to say that risk comes from not knowing what we are doing. I'll repeat that. Risk comes from not knowing what we are doing. People think it is risky because number one, they're not going deeper even to understand what opportunities that it provides to them. They only look at the top, the macro, and they stick to the macro. The beauty about risk taking is higher the risk, higher the reward. நம்ம எவ்வளவுக்கு எவ்வளவு ரிஸ்க் நிறைய எடுக்கிறோமோ அந்த அளவுக்கு the reward is also there. For example, insurance. Selling that insurance would seem like one of the most difficult tasks. But trust me, once you get into the art of selling it, your income grows because every renewal gives you that commission. You are not doing anything because the insurer himself has to renew it. Yeah. You get your commissions constantly. That is the beauty, about this world called risk, because the moment you embrace it, it helps you, to become a richer person. That's one aspect. The second aspect is, for ability to take risk, we also need to show some examples, madam. Show entrepreneurs who have done well in their life, so that in the e-cell, you can even get them by giving real examples. There are a lot of, entrepreneurs, there are a lot of, these angel investors who have made money. If you can show it practically, then I think, the belief happens more, because when you see, you believe. So that's the beauty of, how, you can even inculcate the risk-taking ability.
Chellamma ma'am, kindly mute.
Yeah, she has muted now.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
No worries. So I hope, that answers, Dr. Vediki, in terms of one, is risk comes from not knowing what we're doing.
Yeah.
That'll be great,
Really, we want our students to understand this. Thank you so much for doing this pleasant task. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Very kind of you, sir. Yeah. Sir, can we end the program, sir, with your permission?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And please, we have to develop this rapport, sir. You have to come in person, and you have to meet other sets of students who are there in the final year, second year, and teach them, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. My gratitude to Patrician College, to the principal, vice principal, father, and everybody, who has been organizing this. Dr. Vediki, thank you so much, for inviting me. And my special thanks to all the students. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Kavya? Yeah.
No duty is more important than that of returning thanks. Now I call upon Prabhakaran from 3rd BCom B class representative to render the vote of thanks.
Very good evening to one and all present here. It's my immense pleasure to render a vote of thanks on behalf of PG and Research Department of Commerce Shift 1. I like to take a pride of thanking on all hard workers who made this webinar a great success. To begin with, I would like to thank God for a abundant blessing showered upon us. I would like to thank our resource person, Mr. Chandrasekhar Guberi, for enlightening us with his abundant knowledge and spending his valuable time with us. Thank you, sir. Next, I like to thank our Director and Secretary, Brother Dr. Naveen Francis, Academic Director, Dr. Fatima Vasant, and Principal, Dr. Arokya Mary Geeta Rufus, for taking this great initiative. Our heartily thanks to our Vice Principal, Dr. Anandapriya, and our Head of Department, PG and Research Department of Commerce, Mr. Arunan, who is always seeks for the student development. Then I like to extend my gratitude to our staffs and coordinators who worked behind the scenes to make this wonderful webinar a huge success. Last but not never the least, I thank all the participants for your lovely presence today. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again. With your permission, I'll log off. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Arvind, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.